Okay. So we continue Pasuk Dalet. In the last shiur, פרק ח' פסוק ד', עליכם אישים אקרא וקולי אל בני אדם. So in last shiur we addressed the definition of the da'at. The Gaon explained what da'at is and how it receives from the chokhmah and the binah, and it showers to the chesed and the gvura and downwards, and the difference there is between the da'at elyon and the da'at tachton. And he learns that from the word, from the pasuk, kel deot Hashem, deot, meaning there's more than, there's a plural, there's two deot. And then we explained that ekra, like in the beginning of the perek, refers to the chokhmah, and that's essentially for the chachamim, versus the kol that's referring to the binah, that is accessible el bene adam, that can be given, not accessible, but that can be taught to anybody, just like a call is something that's specific, and a voice that's more universal and generic. Then the Gaon explains the difference between Ish and Bnei Adam. It says we have mankind is given 5 names: Adam, Gever, Ish, Ben Adam, and Enosh. Adam referring to the highest level humankind can reach. Duma said in Masechet Bama Metzia and Yevamot, Rabbi Shimon says, Atem nikraim Adam, right? Adam ki yamut be'ohel, a man that dies in a tent. Says Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the kivrei hagoyim, of the kochavim, the graves of the goyim, okay? Enam mitamim ba'ohel. They don't spread a tum'ah inside the tent to make anybody that's inside that tent impure, even by not touching the grave. But however, ve'atem tzoni tzon maritai Adam atem. That's the pasuk in Yechezkel that say, "You're my sheep, my sheep of my pasture," right? Adam atem, you are Adam. So says Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, "Atem nikraim Adam, ve'en of the kochavim keruim Adam." You are called Adam, but the goyim are not called Adam. The pasuk says also, "Vayomer Elohim naaseh Adam betzalmenu kidmutenu." HaKadosh Baruch Hu creates man and calls it Adam. So the perfect and the more complete level of humankind has the title of Adam, and the lowest is Enosh. Like we know, in Bereshit it says that until the Dor Enosh, everybody was serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. From Enosh on, right? From the generation Enosh on, then people started doing Avodah Zarah. So the definition of Enosh comes also from the word Anush. Anush is without hope. Something that you lose complete hope. There's somebody that has no future, that has no positive outcome. It's called Anush. That's called, yes? Like today we call like Patsua Anush, somebody that has been hurt and there is no hope to save him, right? So Patsua Anush. Enosh also comes from that's the Otiot Aleph Nun Shin. And Enosh is the one, is not the one, but it's at his time that humanity introduced what is called Avodah Zarah. Until Enosh, the Zohar says, there was Tselem Elokim. There was the image, man was at the image of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And after that, because of the sin and the behavior, the Zohar says mankind started, changing their shapes. And they started becoming like monkeys and et cetera, et cetera. Well, we're not going to get into that, but that's irrelevant. What we want to say is that Adam is the highest, Enosh is beside under it, and the lowest, and in between you have Gever Ish Ben Adam, which is essentially relevant to our pasuk, right? Because we have the terminology of Ish and of Ben Adam. Being that Ben Adam is the second to lowest. And above Ben Adam, we have Ish. And above Ish, you have Gever. And above Gever, you have Adam. What happened to the generations from Enosh on is that we lost the Haya and the Yehida. And we were left with the Bechina of a Neshama. We were left with a Neshama that gives the Or that it receives from the Haya Yehida into the body. But even that, it's limited. And that was the transition at the time of Enosh, that we lost the Tselem Elokim. So essentially, if we have 5 layers, right? We have Adam, Gever, Ish, Ben Adam, and Enosh. And we have 5 different levels of in the Neshama. We have the Yehida, which is the top. We have the Haya that's under it. Neshama, Ruach, and Nefesh. Right? So it's parallel to those titles, meaning that Enosh refers to the Nefesh. Ben Adam refers to the Ruach. Ish refers to the Neshama. Gever refers to the Chaya. And Adam refers to the Yehida. So we lost Gever and Adam. And the Pchinot, right, of Gever and Adam at the time of the Tselem HaEloki. And he brings Psukim, he says, this is why the Pasuk says, Ashre Adam Matzah Chochmah. Lucky is Adam that found the Chochmah. Lucky, meaning it's not something that is attainable. Ashre. Or Ashre, Gever, Asher Yiftach B'Hashem. So this being said, says the Gaon, Adam, which is the highest level, is where you basically you this it's with the koach of Adam, or the madriga, the level of Adam, that the person is in osmosis with the chokhmah in its purest form, with the source of chokhmah. This is why the chokhmah today is difficult to absorb, because it is channeled through the chayan yechida, but because we don't have access to it, right? We have to access to it as ish. Yeah, it requires a lot of work, but essentially, the chokhmah is at the madriga of the Adam, which is the yechida.
What's the Yechida again?
Ah, I have to go there. Okay, so the chaya is the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to create a neshama, and that's the chaya. That's the yechida, yachid, lashon yachid. It is unique, right? Like HaKadosh Baruch Hu is ehad, yechida is the extension of the ehad. That's the yechida. And then there is the haya. Now it becomes alive. It becomes appointed. And then it goes down to the neshama with an identity. And then it has a ruach with traits to finally come down and become the nefesh, which gives life to the physicality.
Yechida is the first element
Is
of
the will
godliness.
of HaKadosh Baruch Hu for someone to exist.
First element of godliness.
In the neshamot, in the structure of the neshamot.
In the structure of the neshama.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's why, and that's where the chokhmah is, okay? Because the chokhmah is called Reshit. So it's by him, right? He says, Ve'adam yafik tevuna, but we see that also man, Adam refers to tevuna. So he says this is referring to the tevuna of the chokhmah. Like we know the tevuna is inside the chokhmah. And it says, but it's not really talking about Adam. He says Ve'adam with a vav, which is referring to a lower darga of Adam that's still in the Adam, just like there is tevuna in Chokhmah, right? There is a portion of the Adam that is specific to the tevuna of the Chokhmah. You understand what I'm saying? The same way you have Adam for Chokhmah, and inside the Chokhmah you have tevuna that services the Chokhmah, even, right? So you have the Ve-Adam within the Adam. And that Ve-Adam is a part of the Yehidah, right? That is lower than the essence of the Yehidah itself. And that services the Tevuna of the Chokhmah. So essentially, if we have two that are lost, right? We have the Chokhmah. Now, and under Adam, what do we have? We have Gever. Gever ze Gvura. Gvura ze Abina. Yes? Midat HaGvura is born inside the Ima, inside the Bina. Right? That's the Haya. We have the Yechida, which is Chokhmah, and then which is Adam, right? So you have Adam, which is the Yechida, which is the Chokhmah, which is connected to the Chokhmah. Then under it, you have Gever, which is the Bina. Yeah? Am I following you? Dan, you're with us?
I'm here.
Okay. Which is the Haya, right? I'm just creating a parallelism so that you understand what refers to what. You have the what?
שלוש בהם שלוש?
No. Forget about that. Forget about that. You're not wrong, but forget about that for now, because this is under it. But it's no. So again, we have three terminology that correlate. Again, Yehida, which is the Chokhmah, which is Adam, which is called Adam. Yes. Then we have the Chaya, which is the Bina, which is called Gever, Lashon Gvura. And by the time of Enosh, these two that were one with men, that lived within men, that reside within, right? That was encapsulated within the nature of men, the essence of men, elevated itself and detached itself. Then after that, we have three. We have Ish, and we will see what it represents in terms of the Mochin, but it's Ish, which represents what? Neshama, right? You have Yehida, Chaya, Neshama. So it's the Neshama. And that's the Da'at. Then you have Ben Adam. Ben Adam, the son of Adam, right? Ben Adam, which is the Ruach, which represents the six Sfirot of Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. That's Ben Adam. And this is why we say during the Elul, Tachanunim, Slichot, Ben Adam, Malecha Nirdam. We don't say Ish, Malecha Nirdam. We say Ben Adam, Malecha Nirdam. We're talking to the Hasadim, to the Midot that are actually influenced. Okay? And finally, we have the Malchut, which represents the Nefesh, which represents Enosh. Good? So, how do you call a rooster in Hebrew?
תרנגול.
No. Sechvi.
Oh.
Right? It's also called Gever. נכון? It says, מי נתן לסחבי בינה? הנותן, we make a bracha, הנותן לסחבי בינה. Right? And Sechvi is the Gever. Gever is the Haya. Yeah, that's the name Gever that's with us. And then we have Ish. Nachon? We said that's Da'at. The Ish Da'at Ma'amatz Koach. That's the pasuk that says the Ish Da'at Ma'ametz Koach. ופן כ"ד, אז פסוק מפרק כ"ד, I hope I'm not losing you in what word it's גבר חכם בעוז ואיש דעת מאמץ כוח. So we see, you're going to ask me a question, why is גבר חכם? Well, we're not going to get into that, but there's an answer. But the ish da'at, so the title of ish is where the da'at resides. Okay? And finally, ma enosh kitiz kerenu, right? Enosh kitiz kerenu. Who is enosh? Kitiz kerenu, that you even mention it, which is referred to the nefesh, right? Which is the malchut, that has nothing of its own. Ubin adam kitiz kedenu, and ben adam, that you have to save, right? And we know that the chasadim, the Vav Sirot, are under the influence of the klipot. The nehi is under the klipot, right? We know that. So you have to save the chesed v'ot tiferet netzach yesod. And the malchut, who is talking about malchut? There's nothing, late man min delay. There's nothing in it. And he says, this is what we, this is what he said, this is what we mean in the Modim de Rabbanan. We say, Ve'al nishmotenu apekudot lach, right? In the Modim, every morning, de Rabbanan. Ve'al nishmotenu apekudot lach. And our neshamot that are at your service, right? What's our neshamot? What are we talking about? We're talking about those 5 neshamot. Nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. Now, who presides and who rules over us is Ish, is the neshama, because that's what's within us. Yes? Because the Chaya Yechida left us during the Dor Enosh. Good? This is why we have, this was why Moshe Rabbeinu appoints Sarei Alafim, Sarei Meot, Sarei Chamishim, Sarei Asarot. The Sarim, which are the ministers, okay, and the rulers, okay, is essentially the Neshamot. Is what somebody that lives at the level of his Neshama. That's what they're called Sarim. Oh, yeah. Are you guys following or no?
Something like that.
Huh? So he says the Malbi, says the Gaon. He says, well, I'm gonna make it maybe a little bit simpler. I'm going to skip the alignment of the Shemot Ekie B'Milui. And how does that, there's three, yeah, I'm going to skip it. Okay. I think that might be. Okay, bottom line, if we have, we have five neshamot, two upper ones that have left us. So there's three that are really relevant to us, right? Considering that Enosh is the lowest one, right? What are we left with? Ben Adam and Ish, right? Nachon? And Ish being the neshama, and Ben Adam being the ruach. And in the sirot, Ish being the da'at, and Ben Adam being the vav sfirot, the chasadim, right? Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. So he says, this is what Shlomo tells us. Alechem ishim, to you, the ishim, meaning to you, the neshamot. Yes? Ekra is the chokhmah. The chokhmah is now in your responsibility. Originally, the chokhmah is by Adam, right? This is the level of Adam, the level of Yehidah. But because it's no longer attainable, it's no longer part of you, right? So, Elechem Ishim, to you, the Neshamot, you have to connect to the Chokhmah Ekra. This is why the Chokhmah calls, right? By Adam, he doesn't need to call because it's one with Adam. But for Ish, for the Madriga, the level of Ish, it needs to call. And that's how we connect to the Chokhmah. Which coming to teach us that in order to really tap into the Chokhmah and really connect to it, you need to live a life at the level of the Neshama. You need to tap into your Neshama and to be in sync with your Neshama in order to really benefit from the Chokhmah in the purest form that we have access to. The Koli and the Binah, the call that represents the Binah, El Bnei Adam, is the Binah, is for the Bnei Adam, is for the Ruach, meaning use the Binah in a direction of the Bnei Adam, in a direction of the Chasadim, which is what? Through the Da'at HaTachton, right? We have Da'at Elyon and Da'at Tachton. The lower Da'at and the lower Da'at, and the upper Da'at and the lower Da'at. Comes Shlomo HaMelech and says, what you learn from your Chokhmah and how you use your Binah to consolidate knowledge, don't leave it at a level, at a high level, at the level of Yehidah. That is essentially is found in the Ish also, because that's the highest level that we have access to. But instead, Koli El Bnei Adam, apply the Binah downwards, apply the Binah in the Chasadim. Influence, meaning your intellect, your discernment should be used for a practical behavior so that you can influence your behavior and change your ways and protect yourself from the outside influence from the klipot.
Rob, when you put the Chokhmah and Binah into your emotions and you put it practical, you're a better person.
That's exactly the point.
Maybe, yeah, but it's when you apply it, you're down. It should be the other way. It should go up.
No, you're not getting my point. but you're applying it in a lower level of the chasadim.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
It's not that it's
Chalila
lower.
down to take you down. ודאי at the end to elevate you. In Achinami, this is why the tzaddik, Milashon said, is called Ish, and the Talmid Chacham, the Talmid of the Chacham is called Adam. Even though Adam is the title that we don't have in the spiritual structure, so there's no Chacham, because there's no Adam. But there is a Talmid Chacham. There's the Talmid, who is called Adam, the Talmid of the Chacham, because the Chokhmah, we don't really have access to it. We're the student of the Chokhmah. Because because our Chokhmah, we get it from Ish. This is why Moshe Rabbeinu is called Ish HaElokim. Moshe, why is he called Ish HaElokim? Because he's the only individual, says the Rambam, that his neshama actually was filled in within him. Not the Rambam, Mechilat, Rabbi Chaim Mivolozhin. Rabbi Chaim Mivolozhin says that the neshama, it's very hard to live with it all the time. You tap into it, you go in and out, in and out, in and out, right? You have a spiritual high, this and that. Like Rabbi Chaim Vital writes in Shari Kedusha, that people, they get an emotional, like a spiritual high. It's their neshama that's awake at that moment, right? So we tap into it, in and out, in and out. Moshe Rabbeinu, that was zoche to internalize and live and be in sync with his neshama, was called Ish HaElokim. Ish referring to the madriga of the neshama, and Elokim, which is referring to that all the kochot, Elhem, like the Ramban says, Elokim comes from the word Elhem, the power of all of them, right? That it was all his kochot, everything was inside the neshama, and that's what the Rambam means in his Pirush HaMishnayot in Masechet Sanhedrin on the Yud Gimel Midot HaRachamim, that Moshe Rabbeinu was kulo neshama. He was able to annul all his nefesh and ruach, and he was full all neshama. He was all spiritual. That's the pshat. So yes, although we don't have in a spiritual structure a title of Adam, because that has been lost in the generation of Enosh. However, by being a Talmid Chacham, by having access to the Chokhmah, by being a student of the Chokhmah at the Madriga of Ish, at the level of Ish, at the level of our Neshama, it grants us the title of Adam. Now comes Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in Masechet Yebamot and tells us that Atem Keruim Adam, even though it's true that the level of Yechida, Chaya and Yechida are not connected and are not within you, although it's true it's not within you, but you still, Atem Keruim Adam, you still have that it's still part of your essence. You don't tap into it. You don't have access to it. Yeah, but it's still there. Therefore, you have the ability, right, to when the neshama leaves the body, to create impurity in a tent and fill up the entire space with the tum'ah of the body. Why? Because the body had access to that chaya yechida while you were alive, right? So when the neshama leaves and the chaya yechida leaves the body, right, it creates a vacuum of impurity that has the ability to spread the impurity in the entire space. The goyim do not have that madriga, therefore they cannot. There's no void for the impurity for the tum'ah to go in and spread. Atem nikraim Adam. You have the madriga of Adam. You're connected to the yechida. The akum is not connected to the yechida. Now, because in the madriga that we spoke about, what is the closest madriga in the names of Adam to the Chokhmah? Is Ish. If Chokhmah is by Adam, right? The closest in what we have access to in the madriga of name is Ish, which is the Da'at, right? So he says that this is why the Elechem Ishim Ekra, the Chokhmah calls you Ish. It calls, right? When you call someone, you don't scream. You call. It's close to you. Vekoli, but my voice that screams El Bnei Adam. The Bina, the call has to scream to the Bnei Adam because it's far, right? The Chokhmah and the Bina, they're far from the Bnei Adam. So that to them, they have to scream. And the Bnei Adam, why in plural? Because it's and not Ben Adam. Why it says Bnei Adam in plural? Because it's referring to the 6 Sefirot that it includes. The Chesed, the Gvura, the Tiferet, the Netzach, the Hod, and the Yisod. That's why it's in plural. Questions? I spared you the parallelism there is between Ekie with Yudin and Hein and Alfin, and how does that relate to the 3 word times it says Yom in Vaychulu Hashamayim ve'haaretz v'chol tzeva'am of Shabbat Kodesh, and the 3 times Shabbat, and the 3 times Shevi'i, and the 3 times Elokim. Yes, I spared you with that.
So today we are all Enosh, or depending on our acquiring of Chokhmah, Bina, and that, we can move, and we are in 3 depending on it.
We are all Enosh, Ben Adam, Ish.
Okay.
However, depending on how we live our lives, yes, we will drop to a title of Chaz v'Chalila Enosh. Who is Enosh? Keep in mind, Enosh comes from the word Anush. No, like the people that are consumed with the greed and the ta'avot, right? That there are, like we say, there's almost 0 chance they're getting out of it. That's Enosh. Of the Avodah Zarah, the people that are consumed by the Avodah Zarah, they're at the service of something else, whatever that is. The pleasures, the greed, the money, the ga'ava, the kas. That's Enosh. Okay? Then we have Ben Adam. Ben Adam is in and out. He's a Ben Adam, right? Meaning it's like the Chasadim. It floats. Yeah?
Yes, and why in the Torah several times is Anashim. They call us Anashim.
Anash, that's not, yes, good. Anashim referring to the most animalistic aspect of it. You will not find Anashim about Bnei Israel. When Akadosh Baruch Hu talks about the Am Israel as a Am, you're not going to find the name Anashim. So the Ben Adam is more or less who we are, okay, in constant fluctuation and battle between the kedusha of the sfira and the influence of the klipot. And within the Ben Adam also there's dargot. You can be Ben Adam in the midat yesod. You can be Ben Adam in the midat tiferet. You can be Ben Adam in the midat of chesed. And when you live with your neshama, and at that moment that you're in touch with your neshama, you're ish. And the only one that's called Ish Elokim, the only one that was zocheh to be constantly Ish is Moshe Rabbeinu. But we do have access to the Chokhmah and the Bina. Why? Because we still have the Chaya and the Yechida. It's just that they're disconnected from us. They're not disconnected. They're detached. They're detached. So this is what Shlomo says. Amelech says, "El alechem ishim ekra," right? To you, ishim that are the neshamot, that are the highest level, ekra, I can call upon to give you my chokhmah. Vekoli, and my bina el bnei adam, right? I'll direct it to the bnei adam, to the chasadim, to the ruach. And this, with this, but I must say that we left a few elements of the Gaon that we did not address. And with that, Be'ezrat Hashem, that concludes we leave off the Pasuk Dalet and Be'ezrat Hashem. Huh?
It feels like you want to do it, but you're not doing it.
I want to do it, but I know what I'm getting myself into if I start. So,
Oh Hashem.
Be'ezrat Hashem, no, that's the yesod. He just takes a tangent and gives flavor to the parasha of Vaychulu Hashamayim ve'haaretz and what it refers to in the words Bayom Hashevi'i. Okay. No, I want to, because I can enhance our kiddush on Shabbat.
Yes. We can do it tomorrow.
No, tomorrow we'll move on. Tomorrow, Bli Neder, we'll move on. Pasuk He.
Wait,
I still have
it?
one more pasuk. It's not how long. It's how much introduction I have to give to say it.
Let's do a separate shiur on it.
Yeah, maybe on a Friday.
Yeah, you have to understand what Ekeh means and what Ekeh of Hehin means and what Ekeh of Alfin means and what the Aleph means compared to the He and how it implies. And all this connects to Vaychulu Hashamayim with the Kiddush.
Kiddush.
Yeah.
The Kiddush before Shabbat, the Kiddush.
Yeah, there's only one. There's only one Kiddush.
During Haftarah, which one are we talking about?
There's only one Kiddush Banas. Tov. Be'ezrat Hashem, b'siyata dishmaya, Baruch Hashem. It was clear. It was clear.
Yeah. Beautiful.
We got to study more and more. That's the conclusion.
The practical application is what I keep bringing myself back to. Like what strengthens our bina.
But okay. So the chokhmah is the more you learn chokhmah. And by the way, this is why this explains to us also why there is a level of chokhmah we don't have access to.
Because we can't process it.
Because we don't have that yechida.
We don't have the ability. We don't have the ability to process the information.
Right. That's right. Now, that basically, the more you learn. Okay, what is the neshama? The Rambam tells us it's the application of the chokhmah and the bina in your life, right? That's how you manifest your neshama. Right? So the more you learn Torah, and you apply it, you learn chokhmah, you process it with your bina, and you apply it, the more you are living within your neshama. And that elevates you to a title of Ish. What does it mean it elevates you? In the creation, your aura is the aura of Ish. So people approach you different, the animals treat you different, the nature relates to you different. It relates to you on the darga of Ish. When you are fluctuating and you are about the ruach, you're about the emotions, you're about the regashot, the midot. So you drop to a level of Ben Adam. So the same, yes, and good, and that's the ruach. That's what's the ruach, the emotions and the midot, right? So and it's a fight. What the midot? It's all a fight. Sometimes high, sometimes low, sometimes high, sometimes low, right? So this also will create a fluctuation in the interaction with your surrounding, and now the nature, the animals, the people, okay, will relate to you as a Ben Adam.
Yeah, how do you improve your behavior and the way that you interact?
That's Musar, that's the Musar,
That's
that's the whole
Musar.
Mishlei.
That's
the
Musar.
Musar, that's application of the Chokhmah through the Bina into your actions.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And if you don't have any of this, and if it's about ta'avot and bishirot libi alech, what my heart wants, blah, 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 so you're Enosh. Okay?
Right.
Enosh is the lowest level, so you're treated like an Enosh. That's
Protect
the
yourself.
treated meaning this is what you emanate.
Through Musar, protect yourself. Through Musar is one of the elements. Protect yourself from dropping, from getting involved in ta'avot and
That's right.
And greed, and you'll be able to prevent yourself from dropping down to Enosh.
Correct.
It's like the connection
and allow yourself, and by preventing that, you allow yourself now to apply, the Torah you're learning into your actions, which
right.
essentially elevates yourself from Enosh to Aish. So yes, so the Musar is the Survera, is preventing you from falling down to Enosh, and the Limud Torah and its application is elevating you from Ben Adam to Ish, considering that we're Ben Adam. Yeah. Yeah. This is why, there's a slang, which I don't know if people even know it, but I believe that's where it's coming. People, they say, Eze Ben Adam ze. That's Ze Ben Adam. This is a man, right? What are we referring to? We're not referring to Adam. Eze Ben Adam, meaning that this behavior is the behavior of somebody that is at the Madriga of Ben Adam. No, that's the Madriga of Enosh. You understand? That's in the slang of Ben Adam. So essentially, and with this, because it's beautiful that you raised that, Brian, depending on the way people and nature relates to us and interacts with us, we can gauge, do we have a chen and ora ish, or we're Ben Adam, or there's zero respect and interaction and things don't, you understand? And you're an enosh. Now we're not talking about the kavod melachim. We're not talking about the fake kavod and the sheker. We're not talking about. We're talking about true interaction with nature and the aura that each individual emanates.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Yeah, and that's the soul of the elbam that now attach everything we said back to the shiur of yesterday. That's the elbam. That elbam that elevates, right? God in it that elevates. That's the koach of the da'at. That's what da'at does, which is ish, right? And the neshama. Voilà. Chazak u'baruch u'beruchim tiyu. Be'ezrat Hashem, b'shem Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach. One more to go.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Be'atzlachat tzadikim. Kol tov.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Be'ava.